Hey, Greg, can you hear me?
Yeah, give me a second here.
Okay.
Here we go. Hey, Bart, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
All right.
Now your lips are flapping, but I hear nothing.
The audio sync seems to be off for some reason. I don't know why.
Um,
Hi, Don. How are you?
she does. Her audio seems to be turned off.
Don, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
There we
there.
go. Your audio was turned off, and I just turned it back on. So
This is my first time to work on this, so I'm not sure
okay,
what I'm doing.
that's okay. You're just like you're looking at the second time for the rest of us, so it's no big deal.
Is that right?
Yep. This is only the second meeting. We're trying to see if this is going to be practical to do this or not, but I have an outside presenter coming on at 10 o'clock, and they seem to be pretty familiar with this software, so that comes in handy. So,
Well, that'll help you in case you stumble a little, huh?
well, that's true. That's true. Did you get one of the cheat sheets I sent? Did you get one of those how to use?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Bob
good.
Reed sent the information to me.
Okay, good. Oh, you're with Bob's group. Okay.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Both of you guys should tilt your screen up slightly so the top of your heads aren't cut off. Ah, that's better. Greg, same thing for you. Tilt your screen up just slight. There you go. That's better. So I got it.
Go ahead, Bart. Sorry.
Yeah,
Don, this is Bart.
Hi,
hi,
Bart.
Don. How are you? Where are you?
I'm in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay. I'm in Buena Park, if you know where that is. I take it you used to live in California, probably.
I did when I was younger, and then I moved back later when I was a little bit older, but I haven't lived there in quite a while.
Oh,
No, I'm in Albuquerque with Bob Reed's group.
okay.
I think Bob moved there before Bart joined us, Don, so he probably doesn't know Bob.
Oh,
Although
okay.
you probably saw him on one of the test ones that we did, Bart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been to Albuquerque one time in my life, and believe it or not, a former employer paid me to fly out there, turn one screw, and get on an airplane and come home.
You can't beat that for a job, can you? Well, I've lived in Albuquerque since '82.
Yeah, it was nice. What I saw of it was nice. I got to see the old town. This was maybe 20 years ago or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I ate at the Mexican restaurant. The food there, the food was out of this world. I was the only person in this very upscale restaurant.
Is that right? Well, you got the special treatment then, huh?
This was on a weekend. I think it was a Saturday it had to be a Saturday or a Sunday that I was there.
Do you remember the restaurant?
Oh, no. This was a long time ago. The main thing I remember was that the company had bought a disk drive for their computer. Now, in those days, disk drives were big and they were extremely expensive, like thousands of dollars. And they bought this one used, I'm assuming sight unseen. And they needed me to go out and turn this one screw a quarter of a turn so that it would lock the heads in position so the heads wouldn't crash into the video while the thing was being shipped to California.
Oh boy. Well, when
They
it's
couldn't get. Sorry, go ahead. They couldn't get somebody local to do that.
Apparently not. They probably didn't know anyone local to go to or anything. And you had to have knowledge about the specific model of hard drive to be able to do it. So that's all conjecture on my part. In any case, I got to go to Albuquerque.
Well, I think Albuquerque's a wonderful place.
I do too. My
love
wife and I were. My wife and I took our last real vacation. Or, no, I take that back. Our last real RV vacation in May of 2009 in Albuquerque. We broke down on our way to Albuquerque and had to have the motorhome towed in while we followed behind. But while we were there, we went up the tramway. You know, took that up and drove over to Roswell and went up to Santa Fe. We had a lovely time. My wife is a retired nurse, and she said, well, if we were going to move anywhere in California, anywhere from California, which is looking better and better all the time, I'm getting to where I really hate this state. The Albuquerque would be one of her first choices because she liked the way the medical facilities were in the area. And so she felt that we might actually survive for a while there.
Well, we love Albuquerque, and every time somebody talks about moving, I think, yeah, I've moved around a lot in my life, and I like Albuquerque.
So Greg, you've been to Roswell. That might explain why you appear to be semi-transparent at times.
He learned all about aliens.
That's true.
Here.
That's right. I wish we'd have spent more time there. I would have liked to have gone to the A-Lee Inn. I would have liked to have gone there, but we did the little trip to the little museum there. That was kind of cool. So,
in the days when I went there, I didn't even know about that.
Well, it's got so much more publicity in the last few years than it did at first. So,
say, Greg, well, there's just a couple of us here. I got a new acquisition last week. I got B&H had a deal I couldn't pass by on a Spider Pro, and I calibrated my monitor, and you wouldn't believe how much of a difference there is between the Apple calibration and what the thing looks like once it's calibrated to the internet.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, whose monitor do you have? Whose monitor do you have?
I have the 27-inch iMac.
Oh, you do? Okay, all right.
Yeah, and
in case you don't know, Don, Spider Pro is a color calibrator that mounts on the screen with suction cups. Does it go, Bart?
No, it doesn't use suction cups. What it does, here, I can show you easier. Let me get the thing out of the box here. I can get the box open the way they pack things nowadays. What it does, let me get the cord undone here so you can see what it's really like. Everything's getting tangled. Velcro is nice, but then when it's in a way where it sticks on itself. So anyhow, this is how the thing comes. It's actually two pieces, as you'll see. This is a sensor to sense the ambient light in the room on this side.
Okay.
Comes apart like this. Okay. Now, this, oops, let me get over where I can see it there. This part here physically fits across on the screen itself, and that's the sensor. This part here, let me see if I get back farther, you'll be able to see. You can pull it down, and what you do is you drape it across.
Okay, so the weight holds it in place.
So the weight, this counterbalances it, and then the software shows you in the middle of the screen where to position it, and it just sits there. You want to tilt your monitor back slightly so the gravity holds it in place, and that's how the thing works. And it's what was I going to say? Is
it pretty easy to use?
Yeah, it's very easy to use. The software is all automatic. The thing tells you step by step what to do, and then the thing takes over from there, and your screen flashes in a different shades of gray and different colors and so forth as it calibrates. And once it's done, you go into this one screen where you can compare the before and after of the thing. But it explains why when I've sent my pictures out to be printed, that the colors haven't been looking right. So now I presume that they'll probably look a lot better, because I'll be trying to get this thing, the Velcro keeps getting on it.
You mind me asking what price did they have it at, Bart?
Yeah, this was the, they have 3 different models of it. The top model is for network and stuff like that. This is the middle model. It was 140.
That's not bad.
No.
I remember those things used to be like $1,100-$1,200.
Yeah, the price on this thing, regular price on this thing was like about $180, $190. So I think at $140, how could I pass on it? And then they have another model that doesn't have the capability of monitoring your ambient light. And that one, I think they had it on sale for $99.95 or something like that. And I don't know what it was marked down for, but I wasn't interested in that one, because to me, if it doesn't monitor the ambient light, it isn't gonna do the job for you. So.
Okay, so who do we got there? J.T. Darrow? Can you hear us?
That's right.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
What's your name?
Joanne Darrow.
Joanne. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Now, where are you at, Joanne? Where are you located at? What city do you live in?
Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
So then, Dawn, do you know Joanne?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So another one of Bob's friends joining us.
That's
So
right.
that's good.
That's right.
Hi, Joanne. I'm Bart.
Hi.
I'm in Buena Park. Can I make a suggestion? If you tilt your monitor downward slightly, right now your chin is right near the bottom of the frame, and that should bring it back. So
There you go.
that's
What you want?
a little bit too much. Bring
A little
it up.
bit too much.
Yeah, go the other way a little bit. Right there.
Right there. You got it.
You got it.
Okay. Is my speaker coming through?
Yeah, it's working fine.
Okay. The one password program starts at 10 o'clock your time.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right, yes.
Okay.
So we wanted to make it easy for them since they're volunteering everything. So
Sure. Well, that's what I'm most interested in, is the one password.
yeah, I've been using it for about 3-4 years. I bought it on one of those package bundle deals way back when. And I've only started using it recently on my iPad and my iPhone. And now I want to go ahead. And the nice thing is, even with the free version of Dropbox, if I make a change on the Mac or make a change on one of those other 2 devices, it's updated within minutes to the other one. So that's really nice.
That's good.
But I want to add my wife. I want to see about upgrading to a family plan and get my wife on it as well, because she's notorious for misplacing stuff. I mean, we had a my Discover card is the only card that's actually that I had when we came into the marriage 20 some odd years ago. Got compromised, and luckily I got a call from Discover saying, "Did you buy this out at Ontario Mills?" Hell, I haven't been out there in years. And so they went through like the last 2 days worth of purchases, and somebody had gotten us for about $300-400, and so they fixed that, canceled the cards, sent us out new cards. In the meantime, she wants to go over to Costco, and she's misplaced her Costco card probably for the 4th time this year. And
I don't think you're supposed to be telling people that.
well, she found it. That was the good part.
Okay.
You know, and if you lose it, that's no big deal. If you let everybody know right away so that you don't get dinged for anything. And nowadays the companies are pretty good at that because of all the hacking crap that's going on. But I thought, you know what? I was talking to a former coworker of mine when I used to work for Hughes Aircraft, Allison Sheridan, on Sunday. She does a podcast. She's been doing this for like 15, 16 years, called NozillaCast. Her first name spelled backwards. And primarily Mac-based and technology. And she does it, her and her husband do it from their house. And when our club was having physical meetings, she used to come out about once a year or so. And we were talking about something or whatever one time, and I was watching one of her podcasts. That's what it was. And she had said her and her husband had just come back from Bolivia, and they'd also gone to Machu Picchu and a few other places while they were down there. They were gone for a couple of weeks. And the day they're getting on the plane to come home, her husband's backpack gets stolen at the airport.
Oh.
And he had everything except for his iPhone. He had his laptop, he had his iPad, he had his passport. So they went through hell getting that all replaced. And she had the foresight to take pictures of everything and store them on her phone within the 1Password application. And I thought, what a great idea, that way if they needed anything, she could actually show them a picture of it, And
I use 1Password, but I think there are some features of it that I'm not that familiar with.
I'm in the same boat, and they've got some videos up at their website, but Andrew and Con, now there's a second guy, I think that's how his name is pronounced, Chad, I think, or we'll find out, had offered to go over everything with the two of us. So they're probably going to come on, as both of them are probably going to come on at 10 o'clock. And they seemed real happy. Yeah. 10 o'clock West Coast time, right?
Okay,
so noon your time.
Okay.
Aren't you guys 2 hours difference, time difference?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay. All right. Well, cool.
1 hour.
So I'm looking forward. I'm sure I'll learn something that I've never taken advantage of,
I think you have to go to Texas is where somewhere in the middle of Texas is
where the mountain time, or where Central Time comes in. Yeah,
right.
I think you're right.
Right in the middle of the town, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, the worst one I've ever run across is my paternal grandfather was born in St. John's, Newfoundland, in Canada, and or the land of the loonies. That's what the bird up there, and their money's called the loonie. But the people, I think, are loony also, because that's the only place I've ever heard of where the time zone is split in half. They would either be East Coast time or one more east. So they chose to split the province in half.
Wow.
And so they're on the half-hour time zone.
Oh my.
That's not the only half-hour time zone.
I'm sure it's not.
In the Pacific Ocean, there's some islands and so forth where they use the half-hour.
Yeah, I was looking at something on Google the other day, and I didn't realize, but I think it was the Greeks that had come up, the Greeks or the Romans, I think it was the Greeks, that had come up with a 24 hours in a day. But the 24 hours varied in length all year round. They wanted so as the summer got longer, the hours got longer. And as the summer got shorter, the hours got shorter. So they went from like an hour and 15 minutes down to 45 minutes throughout the year. That way they still kept the same time reference all the time. Interesting concept. It sure drive TV shows and stuff like that nuts if we did something that way.
Sounds confusing to me.
Sure does.
Yeah,
bad enough.
It was really good for the mathematician profession.
That's probably true.
What's going on?
There we go. Don, what kind of a Mac do you have?
I have the 27-inch.
Oh, you got an iMac as well. Okay. And how about you, Joanne? What do you have?
I have an iMac.
All right.
I also have an iPad Pro, but I
Okay.
just have to watch this on the big screen.
How do you like the iPad Pro?
I love it. I just love it.
Do you have a pencil? Do you have a pencil and keyboard to go along with it?
I don't have either. I don't want it.
Well, I've got an iPad Air 2, the last of that series, and I've got a piece of software on it called Duet. Goes for about $15. It's written by a couple of guys that used to work at Apple, And so you put a companion piece of software on your Mac and the same piece of software on your iPad, and then you physically use the charging cable to connect the two together, and it becomes a second screen. So since I'm now currently,
Bob Reed is a big second screen man.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to, I mean, I'm working off of a MacBook Pro right now, and I think I'm going to keep my eyes open for something lightweight, maybe in the 15-inch size or whatever, that I could clamp on to this little wimpy desk that I use, and eventually go with a second screen, because I think that would be really useful.
Greg, we have another person who's joined us.
Oh yeah, MS, I see it.
I don't see it.
We've got two people that have just joined us.
If up in the upper right-hand corner, okay, well, there's Mario. Hey, Mario, how you doing? And there's Bob down there at the bottom, or at least on my screen, he's at the bottom. Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Good, Greg. How are you?
All right.
Bob, there he is. Hi, Bob.
We've got Joanne and Don on as well. If you guys click up in the upper right-hand corner, if you see an option where it says speaker
Gallery
view or
view.
gallery view, if you click on gallery view, you'll get everybody on the screen.
Okay, yes.
And then we've got somebody whose name I don't recognize, MS Karth. Is that somebody from your group down there, Bob?
No, MS Cart, no. Joanne Darrow is one from our group.
Yeah, and so is Don. We've been talking to them for the last 10, 15 minutes or so.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Don, there you are. I see you.
How do you like this change of weather, Bart? I mean, we went from the 80, 90 degree temperature to like it's about 50 right now outside.
You sent us.
I haven't been out this morning, so I can't say, but a drastic change of temperature is never good for me because of the asthma.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Marcia, well, me and Marcia both, I guess it's reached the point now where we now feel the weather changes in our joints. Isn't that a thrill? I guess it's supposed to, there's a good chance it's going to rain tomorrow for a while at least. So, I mean, California can always use the rain, especially the way it's been the last few years. So
In New Mexico.
So how's the weather holding out down there in New Mexico?
Hot today, 80 degrees.
Oh, I was really surprised when I was there in 2009 that we figured, oh, the last couple of weeks of May, we'll be able to take our trip. We won't have to make reservations, which we didn't on the RV. The temperature ought to be like maybe 75, 80, 85, maybe at the most. It was 110 almost everywhere we went. We just happened to hit something that was kind of weird. And holy mackerel, you know, thank God for air conditioning. I just had the awning replaced on the RV at the time, so I had torn the awning off hitting a tree. Didn't do much other, yeah, real classy. And when we had it replaced, I had the option. Hey, Ralph, how you doing? I had the option to go ahead and switch it out for a power awning. I never used I only used the manual awning the 10 years we had that RV, once or twice. The power awning, it was like everywhere we went to in Albuquerque, before I even opened up the door, I'd hit that button so the awning was out there. At least I was standing in shade. How's it going, Ralph?
Pretty good, Greg.
Hey, Ralph, you might tilt your monitor up so that we can see the top part of your head.
Do we want to see the top part of his head? I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Hey,
that's better.
I'm glad to see anybody who's got any hair on top of their head, since I'm in constant fear.
Constant fear of what? Losing your hair?
Yes.
Ah,
My father.
mine's disappearing from the rear. You know, I'm starting to get that. I'll have to change religions just so I have the pleasure of wearing the yarmulke to cover up the bald spot.
My father was bald as a billiard ball, so I've always been concerned about every follicle that I lose.
Rogaine.
You know, They claim that works. They really claim that that works. So I know my dad, who just passed away a few months ago, had pretty much had a full head of hair. His father did. My mom's dad did. So I guess I'm getting lucky. I'm hanging on to the bulk of it at 65 here. So I'd easily give up the hair if I could get rid of some of the weight. Well, I am getting rid of the weight, but I'm getting rid of it too damn slow. So, morning, Ron. How you doing?
Good morning, Greg.
Anybody got any issues or anything that we can talk about while we're waiting for others to join us?
Well, I can tell you about a problem I had with iCloud and the Contacts app. I had one of my groups, you know what a group is in Contacts?
Sure,
You know,
sure.
one of my groups, which happened to be family, was repeated about 200 times.
The group itself was?
Yes.
Wow.
And trying to delete them one at a time is ridiculous because you can't group, you can't combine them together. You can't select more than one. So
Now, was it only on your Mac they were showing up that way, or were they showing up that way in iCloud as well?
everywhere.
Wow.
And I did check with, you know, the Apple, what do you call it?
Knowledge base?
The Apple discussion board.
Okay.
And there was, I think I found one person who claimed to have a solution by going into the library and taking a file out and then stuff like that. Well, it worked for some people, didn't work for others. So I called up Apple Care, and it took about 3 weeks dealing with the senior advisor who told me he had to contact Apple Engineering.
Okay.
And what Apple Engineering did is he told me to disconnect all my iCloud contacts. No, just disable them. And then what they did is what I did is I saved the contacts without the groups to a file. I forget the name of the file. And what they did is they cleaned out my contacts through Apple Engineering, and then I restored them, and then I had to create new groups.
Okay.
But it took about 3 weeks for the whole process.
But they finally got you squared away?
Well, I think so. Right now, I've got the contacts cleaned up, I think. And one of the problems might have been I've been trying to use. I was trying to use 2 different Macs, one a very older one on an older operating system, to also be part of the iCloud, you know, synchronize the contacts on that one also. And I don't know if that was a culprit or not, but what I did is I turned that one off. So I have my newest Mac, my iPad, and my iPhone now on iCloud. So far, so good. But I had to go through Apple Care, and then Apple Care had to go through Apple Engineering.
Wow. Well, I'll give you guys a good one. I have got quite a few movies from through iTunes that I bought because I wanted to be able to use them on all the devices. And I had bought the movie The Robe. You know, I was feeling particularly religious, I guess is what it was. And it stars was married to Elizabeth Taylor twice. Richard Burton. Richard Burton, Gene Simmons, Victor Mature. Those are the 3 that I remember. And it was the first movie made in the 50s in CinemaScope. So I didn't download it, but I'm streaming it off of the Apple website after I purchase it or whatever it is. And the big widescreen comes up, and 20th Century Fox is making a big deal, you know, and they have curtains that open up or whatever it is. And there you are. And there's a little bit of narration in the background. And about 2 minutes into the movie, it goes to regular aspect ratio. It goes to normal TV aspect ratio. And I said, wait a minute, this movie's supposed to be in CinemaScope. Sure as hell, Apple's got the poster for the movie. And I started looking around, and I checked a couple other sites, and I downloaded an illegal copy to see if maybe that was just a screw up somewhere. That copy was in foreign language, but it was in CinemaScope. So I wrote back, and Apple doesn't have a real clean way of doing that. They used to have a really good response for problems with iTunes. It's really Mickey Mouse the way they got it set right now. So I finally wrote them back, and I sent this message back saying, wait a minute, I bought this movie. It's supposed to be in widescreen, and it's not. Not only is it not in widescreen, in any aspect ratio, usually the movie will fill, when you do the option fill screen, it'll fill one orientation or the other. It'll either fill top to bottom, left and right, or both ways, depending on what its original aspect ratio was. And so this has been going on for 2 or 3 weeks now. The guy keeps coming back saying, well, we don't seem to find anything wrong. I said, fine, send me a new copy, give me a refund. I don't care. I'll buy it off of Amazon. I can buy it off of Amazon Prime. Just I'd rather do it through Apple. So we're still hassling with this because they think there's nothing wrong with this film. And I'm telling them, watch it there. And you go, well, can you take me a screenshot? No, your operating system doesn't allow us to take screenshots of protected movies. So I actually got my iPhone out, and I'm holding the iPhone here so they can see, with the counter running at the bottom, so they can see it change from widescreen to normal, like TV screen format ratio, and send it back to them. I said, if you look at this movie at 2 minutes and 34 seconds into it, you'll see this happen. It happens on a scene change, like you've gotten a copy that's been spliced from a TV, from an old theatrical TV version versus a conventional widescreen version, like it's been spliced and that's what you're using as your master. I still haven't gotten an answer on that one yet. I know at the very least they'll give me a refund, but I'd just like to have the movie the way I want it.
Who were you speaking to?
Apple, to the Apple support people in the iTunes group.
Actually,
I know his name is Owen. I forget what his last name is.
what I mean is you do this through Apple Care? How do
You actually do it through iTunes itself.
how do you get there?
Well, in the good old days, you went to you went to like account overview, or you could see like you went to the page inside of iTunes that showed all your purchases and stuff like that, and there was a little deal down at the bottom, have an issue, and that probably still exists, but it's not visible anymore. So I finally ended up doing exactly what you had done, Ralph. I had gone to the discussion group and found a link in there and used that. But I shouldn't have had to do it that way. It was really sloppy that they had taken that out. One of my favorite things that Apple does is because I like to buy the movie, every now and then they'll have a movie for $4.99. Well, that's cheaper than I can, even with the senior discount, that's cheaper than going to the theater. So for $4.99, it has to be pretty bad for me not want to add it to my collection. So I usually go there every day and look and see what kind of specials they've got. And my favorite is they'll have it in their little advertising banner at the top. You'll click on it, and it's like nobody bothered to set the link up to take it to that page. You have to go up and do a search on the name and force it to go to the page. That's just stupid. That's just lazy on their part as far as I'm concerned.
By the way,
I still like it.
By the way, have you noticed the change in the Apple Care policy, the way they manage it?
No, not really. I knew they were going to change. They added some length to some things, and they shortened a couple other things. So go ahead. Sorry.
What they do now, basically, is my understanding, is that when you try to get to go to the store to talk to one of those, what do you call them?
Geniuses.
They only use that for hardware items now. For software.
Oh, really?
For software, you have to go through Apple Care, and they don't ask you whether you have an Apple Care account anymore.
They just take care of you.
Yeah.
Or try to.
They handle software issues on a phone and hardware issues at the store.
Well, that's interesting.
Now, if you schedule an appointment with Apple Care, Genius, they would probably accept you. You probably and they would probably try to solve your problem. But basically, if you try to get an appointment at the store, it's much more difficult than it used to be.
Yeah, well, that's the only place I've ever walked into. No matter what time of day it is, it's always crowded in their stores.
Right, but if you look online to make an appointment, you can't get an appointment for over a week, and it's all
no. Yeah, and here in Southern Cali, here in Orange County, there's like 4 or 5 stores that are all about the same distance from me. They're all busy. They're always jammed all the time.
And it's all hardware issues. And I don't know if they do this on purpose, but you cannot get an appointment within a week, usually.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that they're doing it on purpose. I think
no.
what happens is that there's a limited number of people that have the knowledge to be able to troubleshoot those problems. They're limited by two things. Number one, having the trained technicians, and number two, the size and number of test stations they've got in the back there for the technicians to work at.
Yes, but this situation practically changed overnight. It didn't change gradually.
It wasn't gradual? Oh, okay.
Well, I know their whole store arrangements they're starting to revamp they're starting to make a nationwide revamp on all their stores, supposedly to make them a little bit more efficient.
They moved
I guess
the Brea store.
I'm sorry?
The Brea Apple moved about 6 stores down from where they used to be.
Oh, but they're still in the mall, though. They're still in that mall.
Yes. But I was coming from, I went there for some reason, I forget why, but and I passed the new location without realizing it, and it's the direction that I normally do not go, and just happened to see it. And I kept going to the old location, and it was blank.
Is the new store bigger on the inside?
It's a little bit wider, I think.
Okay.
And the layout is much different.
It seemed to me it was either at Brea or it was at South Coast Plaza. I forget which. But the last time I was in one of those stores, they had there's right when Microsoft was starting to build their stores, and right across the walkway was a Microsoft one with hadn't opened yet, had a big sign, coming soon, Microsoft, right across from the Apple store. I thought, well, that's adding insult to injury, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't notice that at Brea, so it must have been somewhere else.
Must be South Coast Plaza. My nephew, when he was still living down here, he now lives up in the Seattle area, was an Apple genius for a while.
Hey, Greg. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I noticed that you have some latency on your video.
I don't know what's causing it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In fact, hang on a minute. I'm going to try. I'm on the airport. I'm cabled up. I should probably go switch over. Maybe that'll make a difference. So.
Yeah, because everybody else seems to be in sync but you. So that's why I was mentioning that has talked so far.
Is that what you call latency?
Yeah, when the voice and the sound don't line, when the voice and the face don't line up.
Yeah, it's still lagging.
Yeah, I can even see that a lot. It's lagging a lot. That's interesting. I've got a couple of third-party utilities that are running. Let me turn one of those off and see if that makes a difference.
Are the empty black boxes on the screen because people can't do the video portion of the
Or they haven't got their video turned on, or they don't have a working webcam.
But you think they're there?
If their name shows up, they're there. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Interesting.
Well, that didn't seem to make a difference on my end, so I might as well put it back the way it was.
Actually, it's a little better.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I can see. You're right. It is catching up a little bit. So I've got a piece of software called Manycam, MANYCAM, and it's free for the initial version. And I ended up buying it. What an idiot! That was like $50, and it allows you to have up the free version allows you to have 2, I think, or 4 video sources. And then it does like what they call the lower third, which had my name and the Apple Computer Club thing across the bottom and the logo in the upper left-hand corner. And it allows you to do a lot of different things. And but I noticed a couple of days ago when I was using it, as soon as I turn that on, man, the CPU cranks up ridiculous and the fans start going nuts. It's like they've got a bug in it somewhere. For one thing, it doesn't quit. About half the time I try to quit it and it hangs, and I have to force quit it. And I've talked to them a couple of times, and they say, "Oh no, you're crazy. It works all the time. No problem. Send us the crash report." And there is no crash report generated by it for whatever reason. So I've taken a couple of screenshots and sent to them when it was happening, but I haven't gotten an answer back as to what's causing it. But so that seemed to make a difference on, probably just because it's eating up so much CPU resource, that seemed to make a difference in the lag. The lag is a little bit better right now. I don't know why it's the way it is. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Sorry about that. I have recently added a new and updated version of what the heck are we calling that now? Oh, darn it. I've been using it a lot. It tracks the incoming and outgoing port usage and
Little snitch.
Little snitch. Thank you.
Little snitch.
And it can inhibit. It works. It's wonderful, but it can inhibit your communications because
Yeah, it can. You have to approve everything.
Shut down a protocol that's needed, and won't be able to get where you want to go. So, but anyways, sorry to join up late.
Well, we've got Don Manning on here. I'll see if Don, can you hear us?
Yes.
We don't have a video. Do you not have a webcam or not a working webcam, or are you sitting there in the nude or something like that?
I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. Oh my.
Okay, on your screen, if you see, are you working on a Mac or on a laptop or on an iPad or an iPhone?
Mac.
Okay, on a Mac, in the lower left-hand corner, do you see a menu bar that says shows mute and then shows stop video?
Yeah.
Okay, just to the right of the stop video, there's an up arrow. If you click on that up arrow, you might want to see if FaceTime HD camera is listed, and if it is, check that. If it's not, sorry.
It says Logitech camera. It's got to check.
Okay, is your Logitech camera plugged in?
Yeah, it was on when I tried to get on with you folks.
Really?
Let's see.
Okay, good. I got rid of
it. While you're checking, Kathleen, you're obviously on an iPad or an iPhone.
Yes, I'm on an iPad, and the reason I didn't show my picture was because I was afraid that if I'm walking, which is what I'm doing, it's going to be disconcerting to people to have my picture moving.
Are you in the house, or are you at a business, or what?
House, yeah, I'm in the house. But I've got a lot of things going on, and so I'm moving around doing things as we're talking and as I'm listening to your conversation.
Ain't life grand? Ain't life amazing?
Yep, it is.
So,
I ran across something. I'll see if I can show it. I ran across something the other day. I don't know what I was looking up on Google, and I didn't know it had this capability. At least the iPhone does. Now that's interesting. I just lost. Hang on, the quality of my picture has gone to hell in a handbasket. Hang on a second here.
I've got 2 pictures of Robert.
this. Blocks third-party cookies. So click on this.
There we go. I'm back to normal. Okay, this was something I read about. I'm going to share my screen here for my iPad. Let's see if for my iPhone, and see if this works. No, we know that's not going to work. We've had a problem with that.
No coffee in the meeting room here.
Yeah, right.
What is
Okay.
Kathleen cooking? What you making for breakfast there, Kathleen?
Actually, I'm stacking the dishwasher. I knew that this was going to be disconcerting to you. Would it be better if I just turned my picture off?
Nah, don't worry about it.
Actually, it's entertainment to see, and the environments that we all get to work in that are comfortable for us at that moment. We can multitask. We can have our coffee, and it's and listen. Just listening certainly is an educational opportunity. So, Greg,
Yes.
what did you learn?
Okay, hang on just a second here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you see my iPhone there?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I found this was kind of interesting. You can save anything, almost anything, on an iPhone, or I haven't tried it on the iPad yet. But anything that gives you the access to the share sheet, and the share sheet is like, if you look down there, let's open up one of these. Oops, let's see. Okay. So if you look there, you see the share sheet little symbol, the little square up there in the upper right-hand corner with the arrow pointing.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You can turn anything that has that, you can turn it into a PDF.
Oh.
And just like you can on a Mac, where you can go to print and you can go to PDF and save as a PDF, what you do is you go down here to the black icons down here in the bottom, and if you don't have it listed, you can click on the more option and you can see what options you may or may not have there. But if you click on print, okay, now it's looking for a printer, and my printer that is Bluetooth, that is Wi-Fi, is turned off at the moment. So to turn this into a PDF, now with your document, think of this as like the space bar feature on your Mac. You know how you can select anything and hit the space bar, and if it's something that can open up in a preview-like environment, it will. This is sort of like that. So put your fingers on that document and zoom out, and you see how it filled the screen at the top. Well, now you notice down there at the lower left-hand corner, there's another share sheet. If you touch that share sheet, because for all practical purposes, when this is opened up, it's like you are in that space bar semi-preview or whatever you call it. If you touch this share sheet, now you have option. Yeah, go ahead.
At the very bottom, we were unable to see that there is a share item. It's kind of a bit cut off. Just info there.
Okay. Can you see my cursor?
No, cursor's off screen.
Oh, that's right, because it won't show there. All right. All right. I don't know if there's a way of getting around that or not.
That's fine.
Anyway, down there in the lower left-hand corner, when you get to this environment, let me go back here. Okay. So here I am. I've just opened up a regular note, and I'm going to go to the share sheet in the upper right-hand corner and click on print. Okay, you see that, right? The printer says select printer, which I don't have a printer available at the moment. And then I can make 1 or 2 copies. It's pretty basic from a printing standpoint. Now, there's nothing down there at the bottom of it right now. If I put my fingers on that document and start to zoom it out, come on, make a liar out of me.
You're a liar.
There we go. And zoom it out. Now you see it's filling the whole screen, well, at least width-wise. I don't know whether you can see it because it's such a light color. Apple chooses some of the worst contrast stuff. If you look down there in the lower left-hand corner, there's a trash can symbol, and there's no, there's no trash can symbol. There's another share sheet symbol in the lower left-hand corner. If I touch that, it brings up the share sheet again, but now it gives me options to import it into iBooks or in anything else that can be handled, that can handle a PDF. So I can take it right into, let's say, Adobe Acrobat here, and now it's a PDF inside of Acrobat. That works even on Safari pages while you're on your iPhone. I think it works this way on your iPad. I just haven't tried it yet. Does that make sense?
Was the existence of Adobe Acrobat, was that a application that you have installed on your iPhone?
That I happen to have on here right now. I'll go back and do this again. If I click the share sheet, you probably have iBooks, so now I can import it into iBooks. And there it is in iBooks.
Question, how do you display that iPhone on the screen?
Well, this program, Zoom, is supposed to be able to do it, but Robert and I haven't had very good success. So what you can do is if you've got your iPhone or iPad physically plugged in to the USB Lightning charger mechanism, you with me, like it's being charged right now, you can go to QuickTime Player and do a new movie. And when you do a new movie, I don't think there's any way of showing that. When you do a new movie, let me see if I've got an option to show that.
Okay, you're doing it on your Mac.
I'm actually doing it through the Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it on the iPad.
Say that again, Ralph. What is it you want to do now?
I can't do what you did using my iPad.
To do what?
Well, I'm using the iPad for the video conferencing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And I would not be able to show you my iPhone that way you described.
No, you can't. However, you can share your iPhone screen from the Zoom application. It has that option.
Oh, yeah. Is that right?
Uh-huh. So I'm trying to remember, I'd have to look at my cheat sheet, and I don't have a copy of it in front of me. If you just touch on your iPad somewhere, you'll get a menu across the top or across the bottom, and somewhere along the line it'll say share screen.
Oh, but it's sharing the screen you're using.
Yeah, yes. Sharing the screen that you're using, that's correct. And it'll actually put it up there, and we'll all be able to see it.
Right, but I can't show you my iPhone on my iPad, which I'm using for the conference.
No, there's no way to use the iPhone to the iPad. You could log in with the iPhone and do it that way.
Right, okay.
Yeah, share screen.
Morning. All right, you're going to have to tell us, Cod. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Chad or Cod or what?
You were right the first time. It is Chad. Yeah.
It is Chad. Okay. Yeah. I kind of guessed when you sent me that funny note back, So everybody, this is Chad Young from Agile Bits. Yeah, he's going to be. I don't know if you're going to be doing the presentation or if Andrew's going to join you up or what.
Yeah, I got Andrew's here. He's hiding next to me.
Aha.
And we're gonna. Yeah, well, whenever you guys are ready. We thought it was going to be still another half hour or so, but we thought we'd.
It is. So you might as well just hang out. We're just BSing right now and trying to answer some questions or whatever for anybody.
Sounds good. We'll hang out.
Nice to have you with us.
For sure. Thanks for having us.
I got a question for you, Greg.
Yeah.
Has anybody experienced unusual problems with a fusion drive being partitioned for a non-bootable partition?
Robert, are you familiar with that issue?
I'm sorry. I was busy there.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Larry, tell us again. Or who was it that mentioned that? I wasn't looking at the screen.
Bob Reed.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah.
Ask that question again, Bob. So you've got a fusion drive and you want to change the partition structure?
I have one, and I have partitioned for a year and a half, and I've had no difficulty. But Don Dickerson, who's on the left there, had a very unusual experience with a fusion drive, similar to mine, a little larger, of she did what I did, and that was make a partition for storage of files and so forth, non-bootable partition. And she had some strange things happen to it where she lost part of the disk space from the drive. And Don?
Yes.
Can you explain what that?
Well, something happened when I tried to do a safe boot. It went in a circle, and I couldn't get the circle to stop, and Apple Help couldn't get it to stop. And then when they finally got it stopped, it looked like 1/3 of the terabytes was gone. And apparently the fusion drive split. So instead of having the 3 I had 2. And then that 2 was divided up into about 3 or 4. And they couldn't get that taken care of either. So it was a mess.
Wow. With the Apple Genius Bar folder, which I'd never heard of, I searched it on discussion line or whatever. They told you shouldn't partition a fusion drive, period. That's nuts. I cannot find anything on discussion groups that suggests you can't partition a fusion drive for non-bootable partition. They did say that some people have experienced problems with installing boot camp and Windows on a paper drive with separate partition, but not standard.
What is all that noise interference?
A lot of background noise, yeah.
This is
Greg, you lost your.
Yeah, I
mic.
see that. I see that. I'll check it again.
Greg, one of the reasons was on this meeting this morning was because you were going to cover smart folders. You were
Yeah.
really helpful giving me some information. You wrote me a wonderful note about how to organize my documents so that I had them by date and had them together. But now I'm going to try to go to the next level and have some of the documents file themselves, more or less.
Okay.
So how do I use smart folders?
All right. Let me
Is
see if I
there-
can get. Yeah, here, that'll work. Let me share a screen out.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's hide some of this other stuff. Okay, can you all see that Finder window that I just opened up right there?
It says, yeah, users,
Right.
Greg. Okay.
Yes. Let me move this menu out of the way because that's a little buggy for me. Okay, so to I think Apple called this incorrect as far as I'm concerned. It is a smart folder and it's not a smart folder. Think of it as it's what I think really is called a saved search. And the way it works at this level is you'd go up to File. I assume you can see that. Can you see me hitting the File menu up there?
No, sorry, we can't.
It's just showing.
So it's just showing the windows. Yeah, I was afraid of that. All right, at Finder with a window open, you have to have a window. You have to have a Finder window open. You'd go to File. You'd go on down to New Smart Folder.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now you see it's just popped open and added. I've got the tab feature turned on, so it's popped open a new Smart Folder there on the right. Do you see that tab?
No.
We
It
only
doesn't
see a
show
grid.
up on the iPad.
Nothing really.
No, all we see is alternating white and gray horizontal lines.
No, I don't have anything in it yet.
No, Greg, make the window smaller.
yeah.
It's only showing the window, nothing else.
Well, the insides of the window. Try making the window. There we go. Make it smaller again. Smaller again, please.
Cursor, new smart folder. Yes.
Smaller yet more. And now we've got probably 80% of your window that we can see.
Yes.
Okay, can you see? You can see the two tabs here: the All My Files and the New Smart Folder tab.
Yes. Make the window another 20% smaller, please.
Height-wise.
Side to side, specifically. Okay, and center it. And we can see most of it.
That's weird.
Move it to the right.
Or smaller again. Yeah, another 30% smaller, please.
Or move it some more to the right.
Keep going.
There has to be some. Hang on, let me see if there's another option for this because this seems like this is.
Apologize to everyone, but we are learning the limitations and the idiosyncrasies of the Zoom platform and sharing of devices.
Now I've got Robert on a full screen.
Yeah, I know. I think I figured it out here. Hang on a second here. Okay, so let me see if I can bring that Finder window back. Okay, now do you see all the other windows now?
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. So you can see the whole thing now?
Including your menu bar as well.
All right, so that's the trick. You got to go to desktop. Don't go to a specific window. All right, so let me quit this and I'm going to do it again. So now, in fact, maybe to cut down some of the clutter, I'll hide everything else. All right, that probably cuts it down a little bit. All right, so I'm going to open up a Finder window. and I'm go up here to File, and I'm going to go to New Smart Folder.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing this along with you on my Mac. So that's
Okay, that's fine. So you can see it shows search. It isn't like I said, I don't think it's a smart folder. I think it's bad wording from Apple's standpoint that they call this a smart.
It doesn't do the same as the Photos app. When you say
No,
smart.
it doesn't. It's totally different. This is really a saved search, as I read in the discussion group. And here's how it works. Let's say, as an example, you know that the first couple of times you use the spotlight feature, it's really slow, but it's always searching in the background. So after a while, it's keeping up. I just think it's kind of sloppy the way it works, but it works well. Well, you can come over here. You can click on this plus over here in this window where you see search this Mac, Gregory Lockshire. I'll have it say search this Mac, and I'm going to click over here on this plus, and you see it just opened up another window. So now I've got a few pop-up choices here: last open date, last modified date, created date, name, contents, other. I'll leave the kind as it is right now. And then over this second search option, I'll say application is any program that you've got on this computer. Archive is something you've actually archived using. I'm going to come on down here. I want to find, let's say, Microsoft Word files, okay? So I'm going to come down here to other, and I'm going to type in the word Word.
okay.
That's it. It's already found those. It's using the same search constraints that Spotlight does, but it saved it. It's opened it up right here. And now, and by the way, here's the cool thing about this. As long as they're on this Mac, anywhere on this Mac, it finds them. So they don't have to be in your documents folder. They can be anywhere.
So if you were to hit it to open it, it would be like opening an alias, or you're going to the main program.
For all practical purposes, these are aliases being displayed here. So you are opening the main file. You're just seeing a shortcut to it. That's all.
Okay.
Right. When you say on this Mac, do you mean just the Mac itself, or the other, including the with or without the external drives that are attached?
It's my understanding that this is only searching this Mac. I can pop this open, and I can change that to search. I've got my extra drives over here.
Right.
So I can come on down here to, let's say, the iTunes drive. Do you want to save this smart folder? I'll say don't save. For right now, I'll come back to this. Okay, so now on this, you know what? You're right. It's only on the Mac because that's the only thing the Spotlight searches on.
Okay.
Well, if there's another, I wish I had thought of that. I would have figured that one out. I would have looked to see if there was another option. Let's go back here and see if there's an option here. I'll say Excel because I know there's a lot less Excel files here. Or so I thought. All right, let's try something else. How about Photoshop?
Could I put in, like, instead of the name of the program, the file extension? Will it do it that way?
Let's find out. No, because you know what? It might if you had them displayed, if you had that feature turned on. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Okay, yes.
Instead, it's looking, but here's the good thing about it is, oh, well, let's try text.
What about, does Apple use the star dot like Microsoft does? Where if you put
no, not. It does in the terminal level. It doesn't at this level.
Greg, you might look under, some people don't know to look under kind and use other and add different criteria to your search.
Yes, you can. Yeah. If you look right here in the kind option, let me clear this field out again here. I'm searching for a type of file. And here it's saying that I can, the file types I can look for are any kind of file. Well, that's kind of redundant. Application, archive, documents. Okay, let's see what we get with when we say document. That'll probably be everything that's in the document folder. It's a little too generic. There we go. But again, I think you're also seeing XML files, but we could probably stream those out. So we can click on this plus in this window and add more conditions. And I'm gonna say not is. Okay. Come on.
What I was getting at, Greg, is under the title kind, there's another other. That sounds redundant. Another other.
Well, yeah, right. The other is if it's not one. If not, here you go. Here's your choices right there that you can come up here and put.
They've got a whole list of conditions right there. Okay.
If you select those, they'll stay in your search field all the time.
Right.
Okay.
The example.
Me narrow down things if I'm looking for something.
Yeah, the example that I had found originally was, let's say you want to find everything that you've written that is a Word type document. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and change this to other. Come on. I want this to be, I don't have to care about this. Let me clear this here. All right. So I'm going to change this to kind, other, and I'm going to look for Word files. Okay, now it's found Word. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another option here. Kind, change it to other, and I'm going to put in pages. Come on.
It's matching the file name.
I know.
Yeah.
You can do them both. I'm trying to remember how the hell I did this. There we go.
I hear the Genius Bar in the background.
Yes.
Now it's making a liar out of me. I swear I had this working yesterday.
Okay. But you've already exposed me to some things I didn't know were there.
Well,
so
here's the cool thing about this. This is temporary, the way it is right now. It's found every Microsoft Word file that I've got here.
Okay.
And I can sort them by size. I can sort them by whatever fields I've got turned on here. I can pick those other fields if I want to. Now, here's the cool thing. Let's say this is something you're going to do on a regular basis. Click up here and save. And by default, it saves it in your home directory in the library folder under saved searches. But see, there's an option here to add it to the sidebar.
Okay.
So if I add it to the sidebar, there we are right there. It's added a new smart folder there. And I can come in here and rename that to
Word docs or whatever. Excel docs or
whatever you want to. That's right. And that could be inside of a folder, so you could have all those saved, and you can have as many of these as you want on your sidebar here. So if it's something that, and you could limit this. This could be Word files only for, let's say, 2017, because you could put another condition in that says, I only want to see the last 30 or 60 days, or I want to see, let's make a new search up. I want to see all files that I've looked at.
Is there anything like that for mail?
Yes, as a matter of fact, mail's more intelligent.
Okay.
So when you come over here to mail, now this is
search on the upper right.
where are we got here? Let's give it a real brilliant name there, huh?
Okay.
Come on, how the hell do you do this now? Yes, you can do it, but I can't remember how to do it. I'm having brain freeze today. I'll work on that for next month. But yes, there is. There are smart. You can have it so that you can have every mail from just one individual or from one group, anything that's unique, just like the junk would normally work. You could have a smart folder that would automatically capture all your inbox files every time that came from OACC as an example. So anything, as long as, go ahead.
The way I do it is I use the search on the top right corner. And then when you've done the search, there's a button that you can click, a plus button, to create and save that search.
And save the search, yeah, you're right.
So first I get the search down and then I save it and then you can edit it.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I had,
Who is that, Deb?
Pay attention to the plus.
Hi, Deb.
Hi.
Thanks. I'm having brain freeze here this morning.
Well, can't you go to the mail preferences and set it up?
I don't know if it has that option or not. I don't think so.
I thought so. That's the way I set mine up.
You can save a filter. You can set up rules.
Yeah, your rules is what it does. Sends it to a certain box.
Right, that's a little bit different. You can say that any mail that comes from a certain person just turns red and sits in your inbox, or it turns red and moves to a different folder, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. See, I'm not using the full extent that I should be, and so you.
I don't think any of us are. I think the bulk of us do what we need to do, and unfortunately, everything else kind of falls off onto the wayside into the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem with almost everything that we do, is that we do what we have to do, and then we think about, oh, that'd be good, I ought to try that, and never get around to it. I mean, I never would have. I remember Allison came out one time, was talking about iPhotos. I don't know if it was you, Ralph, or somebody else had mentioned, gee, is there any way to find photos that haven't been looked at or tagged or in a folder, or and she said, sure, all you gotta do is just tell it, make a smart search up that says for anything that's not already in an album. I never would have thought of that. That makes sense. It's already there.
That Photos app has that smart folder down pretty good. You can say not in any. In other words, if you have folders that you've created, you can create a smart folder that'll show you what's not in any of those folders.
Okay. All I need is a couple of hours every day to study this thing, and I might eventually understand some of it,
I find, don't try to learn every single thing at one time. As you need something, just learn that one thing that you need that day.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have to discipline myself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The only problem is if we don't use it, we lose it.
Yeah,
I am going to have to leave the meeting. I want to thank you all for your input, and I will be back next month, I hope.
All right, Kathleen. It'll take me 2 or 3 days, but I'll have this video available, and I'll send links out to everybody.
Wait a minute. We saw the dishwasher being emptied. What's coming out of the oven, and what do we get for breakfast?
I've got wall painting to do and a worker coming to help. So.
Okay.
Is that an exciting Saturday or what?
Next month. We're expecting breakfast.
Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Bye, Kathleen.
Greg, can I ask? I came in late, but
sure.
Were you trying to do a custom find, like where you go to? I can't get out of my screen to test. I'm stuck in full screen mode for the meeting, so I can't check. But where you go into the find in the finder and then you say custom and you add to the list where it says, you know how a search can be for an image or for this or for that?
It can be anything. Right. You can use the new smart, like I said, I think at the finder level, they shouldn't call it a smart folder. Well, it is a smart folder.
I'm
but
not
it should be
talking-
called a saved search folder is really what it is.
Right, I wasn't talking about that though, but like when you did the search and you said find and you put the word pages into the search criteria field.
It was to look for all pages documents.
Okay, so
I'm sorry?
You used to be able to, I haven't tried it recently, add to the kinds of folders that are in of files that you find in the drop-down list.
You can. It did do that. That when you click on that other option, I think you have to double click it or something like that, and then that big selection pops up there. You get a big selection of stuff that you can add in there.
Yeah, no, you used to be able to add into it, but it was before you type anything in the text field.
And I see the doc I read. I think I read this at Cult of Mac. Didn't show doing it that way. I'm sure there's thousands of combinations on here that work that we just don't know about.
All right, I can't. I wanted to try it to add to it, but I'm stuck in the full screen mode since I accepted the meeting, and I can't get out of it.
Up in the upper right-hand corner, are you on a Mac or a tablet?
I'm on my Mac, and it took over the screen.
Okay, up in the upper right-hand corner, you should see an option that says Exit Full Screen.
You would think. I see recording, and that's it. I see no menus.
Upper right-hand corner.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to play with that for a second while you keep talking.
Okay.
One thing, Greg, it might be helpful for somebody to go back to the other feature under kind. One of the many questions is file labels. And if you select file labels, then you could create a custom list based on the color of a file where you're saving a color.
That's true, except that still requires you, I don't know if there's a way of automatically doing that. Let's say, as an example, you wanted to, like I've started going into applications. I'm doing it slowly, but I've gone in and I've started using those tags. If that's what you're talking about, Bob, the colored tags.
Yes.
I've started using those for, if I rebuild this operating system, I want to make sure this is back in there, or I don't care so much about this being back in there. So I've started identifying stuff that I need for OACC. I highlight it as orange for Orange Apple Computer Club. And if it's for Greg, my normal color is green. So I highlight it as green. If it's something that I always want to make sure that if I put this on a Mac or on my wife's Mac or whatever, I always remember to do this. I'm starting to use those tags for that purpose.
Well, they still call it file labels under the kind menu like it was in Mountain Lion, an earlier operating system, but it does refer to the tags. And what's helpful is that in your case, if you use Orange for the Orange Apple Computer Club, then you could pull down everything, have a saved smart folder, and every time you take one off of Orange label or add one to it, it becomes part of that folder. That's it.
I see. So let's hide this so that we can see the tag options down here at the bottom. There we go. I've got them turned off on the moment.
So, but you want to create the search field first and of your criteria. So if you went in and
Okay, so let's do that. So let's go ahead and make up a smart folder.
you go to kind as your first choice, and go under other. No, not that other. The first other.
The first other.
Now, when you get this, scroll down, I believe it's listed as file labels.
He's doing his own thing there. No, he's not.
Aha. See, I never even knew that this popped up here, Bob. What I read didn't even talk about this. It moved on to another one. So you can have all these, you can put all these options into, it actually shows it right there in menu. So you can put all these other options right in there. That makes sense.
That's the point
Guys, that's what I was just talking about. If you move down further and you'll find find it in their content creator. And check off content creator. That's how you find all pages.
Oh, look at that. You can actually type in the search there. Okay, so you can say, aha.
Now click OK. That's what I was just looking for.
Now see, I didn't even know that existed. So that adds another option over here into this pop-up. That's very cool.
And now you type dot and the extension of pages, whatever that is.
Or if you,
I don't know if you have to type the dot.
Well,
if you choose kind file label and you selected orange, which will give you the choice you'll pull up all your orange files.
I don't know if Deb, if you have to have the extensions turned on displayed for it to recognize that, because I don't personally have them displayed. You understand? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Recognize, you just have to know what the extension is.
I see. Well, DocX is the most current one for Microsoft for Word.
Right. It should be working.
Huh.
It's usually faster to say contains.
Right. Okay, let's try that.
Are you filtered, Greg, for a specific folder at the moment?
The whole Mac.
I think one of the choices, Greg, is file extension or words to that effect in that under kind.
Well, let's take a look and see.
It might be under other. Yeah, file extension, it is still there.
There we go. Now let's see what happens.
Hit return.
Maybe it doesn't need the period. Here we go. It did it.
Beautiful.
It doesn't need the period. It knows what the extension is, even though it's not part of the file name being displayed.
Mac's always known that.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. It has. Okay, so that's cool. So then you could add more criteria down there if you wanted to put more in here. So you could still say file. Oh, I don't know what it is for Pages. Any idea what it is for Pages?
I'm looking.
Pages. I think Pages is the word Pages. No. Well, you got to get rid of that first criteria.
It's
right.
.pages.
Okay, so now if you wanted to have a multiple one in there, if I recall, you hold the Option key down and you click on the plus.
You don't need to hold the Option key, just click the plus.
It didn't give me that option. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so here we are with Pages. So if I just click it here, I don't get the second condition. I want to show both. I want to show Pages, and I want to show shoot. What do I want? And I want to show, let's say, Word.
Go to the right side. There's a plus sign.
Right. Okay. So
That plus sign.
So here I'm showing. Okay, let me bail out of this. Here I am showing Pages. So I click on the plus, but it doesn't give me the or. It doesn't give me the any or option. Do you understand what I'm saying? The exclude options.
Right. The Boolean. You're looking for whether it's a Boolean and or a Boolean or.
Right. I think that's why you have to hold the Option key down to get that option, because to get that choice to come up. See, if you hold the Option key down, you get this option here in between.
You know what? I didn't know that.
Well, again, I read that and I tried it for about 3 minutes before I decided to do anything serious with it. So.
Option plus. Oh my gosh. I wrote this in a book and didn't know that.
Oh boy, I'll have to recall that book. See, I kind of wish, remember the good old days when they actually used to give you a manual? At least you had a reference to go by. All right, well, look, we're hitting 10 o'clock. Maybe we should go ahead and start with our presentation. Chad, are you on the line?
Hey.
All right, let me stop my share here.